Okay guys, in this video I wanted to go through some of the aspects of how the CHEM 222 course is going to work. That way when we do have our meetings at the very beginning of the semester, I'm going to schedule a couple of Q&A sessions. I won't be spending time going through the documents themselves, but you can review them in advance and then ask questions over them. So what I've got up here, this should be the student view of the Blackboard course site. So what you see when you log into Blackboard should look something like this. What you've got here, the content page, this is where I keep most of the documents for the course syllabus, a suggested course schedule with some important due dates in it. You'll have copies of my lecture slides. This should be a link to the playlist on YouTube for all of the different lectures that I've recorded. Here we have instructions for logging into Sapling. This right here, this is the link that you'll use to access the Sapling homework. So this is where you'll be doing your homework. You'll access this, and then it will take you to an external website where there will be some instructions you need to follow, and then that's where you're going to be doing your homework. Here's a copy of the OpenStax textbook, just to make it convenient for you to find. If you don't want to use this file for whatever reason, you can access the OpenStax textbook from the OpenStax website. I also have a copy of the periodic table for you to use. And then is a list of common ions that you would have studied in Chem 120. And then, just because it may have been a while since you've practiced chemical nomenclature, I have a chemical nomenclature worksheet. This is not homework, it's just meant to give you some practice, just to get back in the swing of working with compound names, which is an important skill that you will need for Chem 222. So, before we move on to tests and quizzes, I'm just going to open up the syllabus and hit the highlights for you. So it should take you to the syllabus. It's loading a little slow. So I'm going to click that button. Okay. So at the top, it has my contact info. I won't be meeting with students in person this semester due to the social distancing guidelines in the buildings. You can reach me via email for appointments that we can then, exchange a Zoom link and we can talk that way. So rather than setting a specific time, I might do a bit of a poll during the during those beginning sessions when I just set up a Q&A, just to see what times people might be available. My first thought was to use the class times, the days and class times where we ordinarily would have had face-to-face meetings, but due to the need to transition to web, those times aren't being used. I know that many of you may have rescheduled things, which I would have myself as well, so many of you might not be available then, and so I'm just going to keep it open right now. During the week, business hours, appointments via Zoom. Don't bother trying to call my phone number. I won't be checking it regularly. If you want to get a hold of me, you should use email. I don't need to send myself an email right now. So, course details. This is Chem 222. It's a continuation of Chem 121. So this is the second semester of general chemistry for science majors and minors. Our textbook is the OpenStax chemistry textbook. I've actually converted over to the second edition. Not that I think that it makes much of a difference, but it's the one with the green cover. And it does not say atoms and molecules first. It's their ordinary, I think it's Chemistry 2E is what they call it for second edition. It's available for free. You can get a hard copy. You might try through, I don't know if the bookstore keeps hard copies but you can order a hard copy through the OpenStax website if you feel like that's what you want. Otherwise, you can get the PDF for free. One other thing to note is that we will be using the Sapling Learning, which is a product. You probably used it in Chem 120 if you took that course with us. That's the system that we're going to be using for the online homework. And the way that works here at WKU is that you'll be automatically billed for that through the WKU bookstore. I forget the name of what they call that, but in any case, I believe that you are given an opportunity to opt out of it if you want to. That is, you could purchase it some other fashion rather than being billed directly by WKU. However, it is required for the course. So you do need to have access. You do need to have a Sapling account. Whether you let the bookstore bill you for that or not, that's up to you. But I just wanted to point that out. So the next section deals with the student learning objectives. On my syllabus, I keep the objectives pretty general. The specific content learning objectives you're going to find embedded within my lecture notes. So here it's very broadly, the goal of the course is for students to demonstrate proficiency using chemical knowledge and to develop their problem-solving skills on these various topics. And as I said before, the lecture notes themselves contain content-specific learning objectives for each of these. And you'll see that represented in the lecture videos as well. As far as the reading goes, we're going to be covering a number of chapters in the textbook, and I expect you to read most of those. And then, let's see, as far as the problem sets, you'll see it in the schedule. There's homework sets for each chapter as well. Each of the homework sets will be assigned a numerical grade, and then you're going to have a total homework score associated with those problem sets. You're basically going to have a problem set due every 2 weeks. Likewise, there will be an exam. Every 2 weeks, there will be one exam per chapter. I find that this is the most effective strategy for doing assessments of learning. And then I have a lot of positive feedback from students associated with that. So rather than having a small number of tests that cover a lot of material, I have a lot of experience and good feedback by doing shorter exams, one per chapter, but more of them consequently. For this online course, the exams will be considered open book, open note, which means you can use any of the materials that I've provided on Blackboard to assist you during the exams. However, I want to be very clear that you should not, under any conditions, be using external websites to help you with the exams. Okay, that's very important. So if you use external websites during the exams, I'll consider that to be a case of academic dishonesty, and will treat it as such. The last point here, the exams, due to the fact that they are open book, open note, they will not be curved in any fashion, so whatever score you get is what you get. They are typically multiple choice exams with about 20 questions per exam, roughly. Sometimes a few more, sometimes a few less. Actually, probably not less. There's either 20 or more questions, so anywhere from 20 to 25 questions. Okay, and most of those questions are going to be conceptual in nature. There'll be a couple of exams where there's a great deal of numerical problem solving, but by and large, most of the exam content is conceptual in nature. Okay, and so what that means is it's very important that you have a good understanding of the concepts that we'll be covering in the course, which you can learn about by reading your textbook and by watching the lecture videos. As far as the grading policy goes, each of the exams will have a numerical score attached to them. Although it does say something here about a final exam, I am not including a cumulative final exam for this course. So each of the midterm exams are equally weighted. There are 7 of them. The homework score counts as equivalent to 1 exam. So it's as if there are 8 grades that you can get in the course, the homework being one of them, and then the 7 midterm exams are the other components of the grade. Each of those are equally weighted and normalized to 100. You'll be assigned a course score in that fashion, and then letter grades will be assigned based upon this scale for the course score. Okay, so you'll have a total of 8 grades. One of them is homework, the other 7 are exams. Each of them, regardless of how many questions there are equally weighted in determining a course score, and then the letter grades are based on the course score according to this scale. The attendance policy for an online course is obviously slightly revised compared to this. I don't offer makeup work in the course, so if you miss an exam, you won't have the opportunity to take another exam in its place. And then as far as the attendance goes, since this is an online course, what it means is that you need to have the self-discipline to maintain a high degree of engagement with the digital content of this course. That includes the lecture videos and the homework problems. I do also expect you to be doing your reading. And then the primary thing is that you need to be responsive to email inquiries. And so the primary mode in which I will communicate with you and you will communicate with me is via email. And through email, we can schedule Zoom meetings. You need to be checking your email regularly throughout the week, your official WKU email account, because that's how I'm going to be communicating what's going on in the course with you, and that's how you should communicate with me what's going on with you. So get used to using your email. I have straightforward policies on, or rather what I should say, standard policies on academic dishonesty, student accessibility services, and Title IX. I guess the important one here is the academic dishonesty one. If I catch that you've been cheating in the course, what I'll do is assign a failing grade for the course without the possibility of withdrawal, and I'll also forward that information along to the Office of Student Conduct. And that's not a position that you want to be in. So I think I'm being pretty generous here with the open book, open notes for the exams. I'm also very willing to help you improve your scores. So from my perspective, there's no reason for you to cheat. What I expect of you is to work hard and communicate with me so that I can help you improve your performance in the course. If the Student Accessibility Services policy affects you, please let me know. Likewise, the Title IX policy is right here as well. So that basically covers the syllabus. If you have any questions about that, like I said, I'll be scheduling a Zoom meeting for the first week of class, at least 1, possibly 2 meetings, so that you can ask questions to me about those. What I want to turn to next is the schedule. So here, what I've done is I based a schedule on how I normally teach the class during the academic semester. So typically I do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday section. I know that some of you originally signed up for a Tuesday, Thursday. The reason I've geared the schedule towards Monday, Wednesday, Friday is because I think that a 3-day per week schedule is the best way for this course to be offered. And so even if you don't have times on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, what I would recommend that you do is adopt a 3-day schedule anyway and do it something like Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday type of schedule, just to balance out the amount of time that you are spending on the course. Really, for a 3-hour course, at a minimum, you want to be doing 2 hours outside of class time for every credit hour of the course. So this is a 3 credit hour course, which would meet for 3 hours per week. So there's 3 plus another 6, and so that would be a minimum of 9 hours. And I would recommend that you actually bump that up because Chem 222 is kind of a hard course. And so my recommendation is that you make time in your schedule for 10 to 15 hours per week that you would devote to Chem 222, depending upon your confidence in your ability and your abilities with chemistry and your desired grade level. So at a minimum, so for the minimum passing grade, 10 hours. And if you want to do really well in the course or really learn the material very well, I would recommend bumping that up to somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 to 15 hours. At least at first, until you sort of get your feet wet with the material. It's going to be up to you guys to maintain your own schedule since this is an online course. What I've laid out here is the schedule that I think works best for students under most situations. So the way that I have set it up is basically every 2 weeks there's an exam. Okay, and so that ensures about 5 days of lectures for each chapter, and then at the end of that week, what I have is the exam and the homework is due for that particular chapter. So this first chapter that covers solutions, chapter 11 from the textbook, you'll have a homework set that is due at midnight on this Friday, September 4th. Note that would be before you would go to class on Friday morning. So when I say midnight, I mean at the stroke of midnight on Friday, September 4th, the homework assignment is due. So from this perspective, it's due Thursday night. It would be due Thursday night on the 3rd. So usually what I want is people to finish the homework before they take the exam. So finish the homework that night and then take the exam that day. Now, because this is a web course, and some of you signed up for a Tuesday, Thursday section, and some of you signed up for the Monday, Wednesday, Friday section, what I've done, contrary to what it says here, so it says that the exams will be available on Blackboard from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on the date indicated. That's not quite accurate. The exam will become available to you the day before it is due. Okay, so for this first exam, the exam will open up at 8 a.m. on Thursday, September 3rd, and then you will have until 8 p.m. on Friday, September 4th to complete the exam, and it will be due on Friday, September 4th at 8 p.m. So you have roughly speaking, a 2-day window to take the exam. I guess it would be a day and a half window to take the exam. Once you start the exam, however, it is timed. Okay, so you have a day and a half to start the exam. Once you start the exam, you'll have 70 minutes, that's an hour and 10 minutes, to complete the exam. And after that 70 minutes expires, once you've started the exam, it will auto submit. Okay, so that's probably one of the things I expect a lot of questions on, but just to clarify one more time, the date that is shown on the schedule is the date that the exams are due at 8 p.m. The exam will open the day before, so it will open on a Thursday at 8 a.m., and then you have until 8 p.m. on Friday to complete the exam. You've got a 70-minute window once you start the exam. All of the exams will be delivered on Blackboard, and I'll show you where that will be in a few moments. Okay, so homework is due Thursday evening. You can finish the homework early, of course, and then you need to take the exam by 8 p.m. on the date indicated. Okay, and so that's how each chapter is done. So it's what I consider to be 5 days of lecture, then an exam, then there's another 5 days of lecture, then an exam. Whether you do it on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, or if you want to pile up more lecture material on Tuesday and Thursday, that's fine with me as well. But that's the schedule that I recommend that you follow. And so that's just going to proceed over and over again throughout the semester. It looks like around, it's the week of Thanksgiving. There's no fall break, there's no Labor Day. It's an online class anyway, so it doesn't matter that much. Um, but here's where we switch over, or at least where we're scheduled to switch over from face to face to remote. By that point, we would have completed most of the material, and then this last couple weeks here, what I've done, since I know things get a little hectic around finals, is I went ahead and pushed the last exam all the way to the date of our scheduled exam. So if you look on TopNet, our scheduled final exam. So if you look on TopNet, CHEM 222 has a special date listed for taking finals. It's actually the Wednesday of finals week from 1 to 3 p.m. We're not doing face-to-face finals, so it doesn't make that much of a difference anyway. Nevertheless, what I've done is I've made that exam 7 is due at 8 p.m. on that Wednesday. So if you want to take it from 1 to 3, you'll have 70 minutes to take that midterm exam. If you want to take that midterm exam then, you may. I believe that that exam will open up Thursday, December 3rd. And so you've got all of that time to figure out when you want to take that last midterm exam. Personally, I recommend you take it as soon as possible. Ordinarily, I would have offered it that Friday. And so since we're not meeting for classes, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm not planning to do a cumulative final. I just went ahead and pushed it to that Wednesday of finals week. Likewise, the last homework set is not due until midnight of that Wednesday. So it'll be due, I guess that would be Tuesday evening, 11:59. It switches over to midnight. That's when the homework is due. So you've got quite a lot of time to figure out when you want to schedule that homework for yourselves and when you'll have between Thursday and that Wednesday to take the last test. So that's the schedule. I anticipate there's usually a few questions on the schedule, so if we want to talk about that at an upcoming Zoom meeting where we go through the organization of the course or your questions over the organization of the course, that'll be fine. So let me go back to here. So these are the lecture slides. I include both the CHEM 121 and the CHEM 222, so this is a rather large file. I'm not going to open it here. You can download it and look at it on your own. And then the videos, which you can reach here at this from this link, it'll take you to my YouTube playlist where this video will be, and then all of the lecture videos that I have for the course are located there as well. And so link and subscribe, or like and subscribe, I guess is what they say. Anyway, you'll be using those videos hopefully quite a bit over the semester. The sapling instructions here is just a PDF. This is what the sapling people sent me to send to you. So go ahead and follow those instructions whenever you're ready to take a look at the homework. This is the I can go ahead and click this link. I really don't know what it looks like for you guys, but oops, looks like I clicked the wrong one. Go back here. So I'm going to click that one. So this is what it looks like. When I click it, you'll need to follow the instructions here to in order to set up your sapling account. If you already have an account, they give you instructions for that as well. So I'll just leave that to you to get through. You can let me know if you have problems with it. Again, this is just a PDF of the textbook that you can download. It's a rather large file as well. The periodic table, the common ions, again, these are just PDFs that you can download and look over. The last thing I wanted to do was just to take you to the tests and quizzes link. So right here is where you'll link to where the exams will be posted. And so what I have there right now is a PDF with my study guide for each exam. So for each exam I how many questions they are. I give you a sense of how many require a calculator versus how many are purely conceptual. Again, they're all multiple choice. And then I get a list of topics that you really need to know going into the exam. So these are the things that you really want to hit hard as you're learning the material and studying for the exams. And there's just a different list for each chapter that we cover. So that's that for your reference. And then when the exam opens, it's going to appear under this folder. So come what was it, September 3rd, I guess was the schedule. You're going to see a link here to exam 1, which you'll click on that. Once you do that, once you say yes, start the exam, you'll have 70 minutes to complete the 20 or so questions that are there. I'll let you know that the questions are set up in such a way that each student will get a random ordering of the questions with random with the answers scrambled, and then also there's no backtracking allowed on these exams. So you'll be shown each question individually, and you won't be able to go back when you answer a question. So it's one question at a time in a scrambled order with scrambled answers. And the reason I've done that is to try to prevent academic dishonesty. Like I said, when you take these exams, you're more than welcome to use your notes and the textbook. You can use any of the materials that are on the Blackboard website. However, you may not use external websites. Basically, you shouldn't be copying the questions into your search browser and trying to find the answers on chegg.com. If you try that, you'll be sorry that you did. So anyway, that's my warning to you. Take the exams honestly. If you need help, I will help you. You just need to let me know, okay? Well, I can't think of anything else that I really need to present right here. I've been going on and on long enough. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video here. Pretty soon I'm going to schedule some Zoom meetings for the first week of class where you can ask me questions about how the course will be organized. And so I look forward to meeting you and working with you this semester. So talk to you later.